The following podcast is brought to you by the Johners Podcasting Network, found exclusively at wrestlingwithjohners.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bucklebomb Entertainment. I am here with my co-host, Sarah, as always, and we have a special guest joining us today. We have Lionsgate Dojo and Dragonplex. How would you say that? Not necessarily a student, but you still definitely train there, correct?
I consider myself a student. Never stop learning.
Absolutely. And he is known as the Real Talk Rashad Tyson. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So my first question to you is, have you had any pineapples lately?
Oh my gosh. Yes, I had a Hawaiian pizza the other day, and it was to die for.
Absolutely. Awesome. So tell me a little bit about, I've known you actually for quite a while. You were my first person that I got to photographer for at Timber Pro. Yeah. So I've known you for a little bit, but I don't know kind of when you started and all that. Kind of give us a little bit of a history.
Yeah, absolutely. So I started off in Spokane in 2017. Same crop of folks as like Chase James and Jackson Price and Rick Kelly. Pandemic hit, moved back to the west side of the state, started training with Dave and Chris, and first in their garage and then in Dragonplex. And I've been pretty much working consistently for the past 2 to 3 years. Other than that, though, I wear a lot of different faces in pro wrestling. I'm a camp counselor at one company. I am a starving artist at a second one, and I'm pretty much everything else in between everywhere else I work. But yeah, it's been a fun journey.
And where have you've actually been killing it in Canada recently? Like,
thank you.
First of all, their photographer is absolutely phenomenal. That's the one thing I always look at. But yeah, tell us all about Canada. That seems so exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, shout out to Rob. Rob is one of very few photographers I've met up in Canada so far. He does great work. Always captures my good side. But yeah, I started training at Lionsgate about this last year, March. Got my first match in Canada against Travis Williams at a promotion ran by Parm Singman, Dusk Pro in September. And I've been working and wrestling up in Canada about 2 to 4 times a month since then. It's been a lot of fun, especially training at Lionsgate, just being able to train under Artemis Spencer and Nicole Matthews and Tony Baroni, Billy Swade when I get the opportunity, all these PNW legends. It's just such an awesome opportunity just to even be up there.
Have you seen a big difference? So I'm originally from Arizona. I only moved here about 4.5 years ago. When I first started training at the Oregon Pro Wrestling School, one of the things that was known about the PNW is that it was kind of a black hole. There's not a big talent focus. However, as soon as everything started opening up, PNW took off. The mega shows that we're having all the way from, Northern Cal, Oregon, Washington to Canada. How much have you seen it change since you started originally back in Spokane to how it is currently?
When I first started in Spokane, I was in such a small bubble of wrestling that I didn't really look out into the bigger picture until I moved back to the west side. And it was training with Dave and Chris and seeing Without a Cause, and then branching out from there and seeing places like DOA and POW and Relentless out in Spokane. The scene from when I started versus now, there's just so much optimism to look to the future. Especially out of Oregon right now, the Flamin' Aces, Amira, Stephen Bradley, Cole Rivera, just Ricky and Eddie are doing such a good job of creating the next generation of PNW legends. And I just love watching because we still have our Cody Chun, we still have our Gail Morosas, still have our Sonicos when he is up here. But just now we have our Amiras, now we have our Flamin' Aces, now we have our Mickey Mantoyas and our Chris Brady's. It's just so good to see the evolution of where we were pre-pandemic to where we are post-pandemic, especially looking towards the future. I love it. I'm so excited just for all the opportunities to wrestle and compete against all this talent up here. It's so much fun.
Absolutely. Sarah?
First off, hearing, that you went to Canada, was there any kind of culture shock, what life was like here spending time in Canada?
A little bit. First off, I've never had poutine. Still haven't. Love me, but I do love me some Tim Hortons donuts. My Timbits are my go-to. But the biggest thing was like training at Lionsgate and just seeing how they approach training. It's very structured. It's very preach the fundamentals, and a lot of like working out and like just getting yourself as ring ready as possible. The level of professionalism that my coaches display at Lionsgate is very encouraging to anyone who wants to break into the scene. Especially Nicole Matthews, just you can tell she really, really cares about developing the next generation of talent. And you can see it, like you can see it in Judas and Travis when they're out in Defy, like the influence that like Artie, Nicole, Tony Baroni, like all the coaches at Lionsgate, like they definitely care. Like I love seeing it. That's kind of a culture shock to me, just like how much they want to keep shaping the future. Sorry, I was a little rambling on a little bit.
Yeah.
When did you decide, that you wanted to start wrestling? Was, what was like the day you said, this is kind of what I want to do. This is how I want to build my future.
Oh, I honestly, ever since I was a little kid, I remember the first match I ever saw was The Rock and Brock at SummerSlam. And ever since then, I was like, I want to do this. Like, I remember wrestling in high school, and I'm like, this isn't the same. This is not the same.
So how old were you during that time when you first watched Brock and Rock?
Oh, man, I think it was like maybe 13. Oh, I gotta double check those dates, though. I got kind of into watching wrestling a little bit late. Like I watched the Attitude Era a little bit off and on, but like I didn't really start like watching until that particular match. Just Brock Lesnar at the time was just like this larger than life athlete, and then like The Rock was just the mega star that he is today. And especially The Rock, because he always had this like engaging presence about himself. It's kind of hard not to watch him when he's on TV.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are some? Sorry, I'm taking over. Who are some of your heroes that you looked up while you were watching?
Oh man. Excuse me. Definitely Eddie Guerrero. He's always the first guy that pops into my head. There's just something that's, how to describe this? It's something very genuine about him. Something just, whether you booed him or you're cheering him, you were fully invested in whatever he was doing when he was on TV. And this sounds like a cheesy answer, but I've always been a John Cena fan. I will still be a John Cena fan. Super Cena was my era growing up, and man, the way that he loves this business is just so it keeps you want to keep going, and it makes you want to love it just as much as he does.
It's kind of funny. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, was there someone you specifically drew inspiration, for your persona? Said this is who I kind of want to model myself after?
Yes and no. I try to be like as original version of myself as possible, but at the same time, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that watching Randy Orton and The Miz, like if you kind of like watch what I do in the ring, you can definitely see aspects of what they do in the Fed. Especially Orton. I just loved his like crowd work with just basic stuff. Punch you in the face, stare at the crowd, just let everyone kind of absorb that in. I've always appreciated like what wrestlers could do outside of the ring, and then when they're in the ring, not doing a thing. Like especially Randy Orton, but Randy Orton and The Miz, like especially like a lot of my moveset. I do a lot. I don't say I do a lot of stuff they do, but I got some inspiration by how they worked in the ring and how they moved around the ring, specifically how they moved in the ring. Randy Orton just so fluid everything he does.
One of the things I learned, thanks to TikTok and Instagram, one thing I learned about Randy Orton, I don't know if you ever noticed this, and I bring him just because you say he's a big inspiration. When he does that power slam, when he actually goes to do power slam, it's the clap.
Yep.
Right before, and then if it's going to miss, he doesn't do that clap right before. Have you ever noticed that?
I have, and this sounds bad. I have, and I do that all the time when I throw clotheslines. If you ever see me do a clothesline, I will always clap my hands. I watch the footage. I hate doing it, but it's something that's just ingrained in me. I think it's kind of cool. It's like the audience knows it's coming.
It builds that like anticipation for that move, and you don't necessarily know if he's going to counter it or something, but you know something's coming. It's kind of like setting it up, but not really setting it up. It's good storytelling, to be honest.
Honestly, I see it as almost like his it's like when John Cena does this thing. If I don't see Randy Orton clap before his power slam, something's missing.
Now, I see you've had a lot of big names come in, that you've done seminars for. Serpentico, Funny Bone Drexel, Ricardo Rodriguez. What's it like going to those seminars? What are you looking to take away when you do go to them?
I think the biggest thing I try to get out of seminars is just how can I apply what this person in front of me is telling me to how to improve and keep getting better. I try to just either write everything down or try to keep everything from memory, what they're telling me. The biggest thing for seminars though is definitely this guy is successful. Why? How do I replicate that even to the slightest? Yeah, and I also love it was the Serpentico seminar. No, it was a Tyler Bateman seminar. I did a Tyler Bateman seminar at DOA a couple years ago, and he does this specific roll exercise. And I remember doing that, and I'm like, this is so difficult. And I still chase trying to do those kind of rolls that he was trying to show us. But just learning even basic warm-ups like that from someone who, is successful, it's really cool. It's so cool. I try to, and whatever I get from a seminar, I try to apply to whatever I do in the future for sure.
Ricardo Rodriguez was just at a show I was at over the weekend, and the interaction he does with the crowd is it's great. It's great to see, people still interacting with the crowd.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I try to do more than moves. And when we were doing the Ricardo seminar too, I remember he had a match with Carl Randers afterwards at DOA right before intermission, I believe. And just seeing the crowd work alone in that, you can use basic holds to still work a crowd. I think crowd work is probably more important than anything you do in between those ropes, move wise. I would say this tell the story to anyone who's starting off, but The Rock doing the spine buster before the people's elbow. No one cared about the move. They cared when he hit the spine buster and he stood over him and looked at the crowd and just kind of stood there before he even moved. Those moments, I think a lot of people, I can't say a lot of people. I think people first starting off should really consider that when they are trying to figure out who they are in the ring. Just look out at the crowd, and however they are reacting, keep doing that. If it's successful, it's not successful, adapt. But I love working the crowd. I love engaging the crowd as much as I possibly can.
Seven, what else you got?
So we're going to kind of finish up this part of the interview, and then we're going to go to the 5 questions, and then Sarah has the lightning round, and then we'll end it with a little bit of trivia. Just talk a little bit about your future goals that you currently have in professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. I have 3 big goals this year. First things first, I want to debut in California. Something I wanted to do last year, I didn't get the opportunity to. My second goal, I'm kind of tied between 2 promotions, but if I had to say, I want to debut for WrestleCore in Vancouver, and I want to debut for New Canada in Vancouver. So bad. Those 2 companies are on my map. It's ever since I started training at Lionsgate. Those are my destinations that I want to make it to this year. And I think my third one for sure, I want to have a crazy death match at some point this year. I want to have all the weapons, all the light tubes, all the staples, everything I could possibly think of for a death match. I had a couple of hardcore matches with Drexel, but I haven't had the light tube experiences that he had with the Mira. And just seeing those pictures, I want that experience so bad, especially the light tubes. I don't know. I think I could think of something fun to do with those.
When you do that, please let me get a before and after photo. I love those kind of photos.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, we'll figure out a way to do a during as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen some of your match. Actually, you know what one of my favorite matches of yours was? It was almost when Rook died. It was at,
Oh my gosh, yes.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the Timber Pro, the barroom brawl.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was a ringless show. These guys absolutely killed it. Like when I was going in, I was like, I had no idea what to expect. But I earned you, or I give you so much respect for that match because one, it was one of the most entertaining matches I've ever seen. First off, and just like you guys did so much on the with the crowd and just interacting and having those big moments when there wasn't really a place to have them and just being able to. So that was absolutely like my hat was off to you. So anytime I've gotten to see anything you've done, like I've seen you get stapled. One of my favorite pictures that I've ever taken is actually with Rashad with a stapled. I don't know if it was $1 or like an 8x10, but
It
it's
was
definitely
the golden guy picture ripped in half, right?
yes, yes. I think that's exactly what it was. So if you guys haven't checked out Rashad, where can they find where have you worked? Where can they look you up? Do you have a YouTube channel with your stuff?
I do, absolutely. You can find me on X, Twitter. I don't know what to call it anymore. X or Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at the Rashad Tyson. And you can also find me on YouTube at the Rashad Tyson or at Real Talk Vlog. I'll pop up one way or another. As far as like upcoming events, you can catch me at Peak Sports Entertainment, Combat Pro, All Star Wrestling, SOS Pro Wrestling. I'm forgetting so many companies right now. Boom Pro Wrestling. Definitely, if you haven't had the opportunity, check out Boom Pro Wrestling on YouTube. They are such a fun company to work with in Vancouver. Just I cannot say anything. They have so many good things about them. So many good things. But yeah, those 5 places for sure off the top of my head. Vancouver Island Pro too. I'm forgetting so many companies. I've been really busy. I apologize.
No, you're absolutely fine. If you want to kind of give us a list, we'll put it in the YouTube at the bottom where they can check you out. And of course, we'll always put your socials and where to find you. So the next part is my 5 questions to you, and they are actually randomly selected except for the 5th one. I'm going to pull the 5th one because it actually randomly gave it to me twice for 2 other people, and I really like the question because at the end of after you answer that one, I will tell you why that actually ended up being one of our favorite questions.
All right.
So my first question is, what used to be trashy and is considered classy now?
Wow. My brain immediately said thumbtacks. I don't know why. I'm going to say thumbtacks.
There's no wrong answers. By the way, these questions are meant to be silly or at least thoughtful. So have as much fun with it as you can. There's no right or wrong answers. Thumbtacks, I think, would be an excellent answer for that. Number 2 is, how do you feel about pineapple on pizza, which you actually kind of mentioned already?
I thoroughly enjoy. I'm looking at you, Reactivate. Oh my gosh, by the way, shout out to Reactivate for wrestling. I love you, Reactivate. I love pineapple on pizza. Absolutely love pineapple on pizza. That's my answer.
Trust me on this
one.
one. Pineapple, chicken, and hot peppers on pizza, better than Hawaiian.
That sounds so good. That sounds so good.
Tell us a little bit about why we keep bringing up pineapple. Yeah.
Sarah, do you know this story?
Sarah does not know this story.
Sarah does not know this story. Okay, I'll try to give you the Spark Notes version of it. Mickey Mantoya and I had a tag team match against Most Violent, Funny Bone, and Drexel at Reactivate Pro about a year ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe closer to 9 months. Yeah, post match. Is this a PG show?
No, it could be anything. It could be as.
Yeah, Funny Bone shoved a pineapple straight up my ass and in front of an entire crowd of people. And let me tell you, getting it out was the worst, the absolute worst. And there is a clip somewhere on my Instagram of Aaron Grosserth saying, "Never in a million years would you ever hear in a wrestling ring, get this pineapple out of my ass." And Pro just ran with that for, it's still going on, like almost 7 shows in a row now. I can't go there anymore without hearing a pineapple chant anymore.
Yeah, and we also have fans that will literally come with pineapples for him. I believe one, I can't think of his name at the moment. He usually lifts his shirt and he had a
Oh,
pineapple.
Rocky, I love Rocky. Yeah.
Rocky is such a gem. Like yeah, I absolutely love Rocky.
Have you had an
So
autograph any
there's,
pineapple yet?
Let's say it again. Sorry.
Have you had to autograph any pineapples yet?
It's gonna happen pretty soon. I already know. There's someone messaged me recently that they found like an expensive pink pineapple that they're saving for me. I'm really looking forward to seeing that because I've never heard of a pink pineapple, but just the fact that they're saving it was just very, very strange to me. They said they were freezing it. Like, cool, man. Can't wait to see it.
That's awesome. And the third question is, if all animals could talk, which one do you think would be the rudest?
Ferrets.
Oh,
Ferrets. I don't know why. Ferrets or no, I take it back. Dolphins. Dolphins or ferrets. Probably more dolphins.
interesting. Okay. And how long do you think you would survive a zombie apocalypse?
I have this conversation literally once a week. I would not make it past day one, and let me tell you why. One reason only. I don't know how to shoot a gun. I've never shot a gun before, and I don't know what I would do if I'm in that scenario. Also, I'm definitely afraid of blood. So, one day, I'm going to say one day.
All
And
right.
the head nod with the definitely afraid of blood.
I can understand that. And the fifth and final question is, what is your weirdest gift that you ever given?
The weirdest gift I've ever given. That is a good question. Wait, been given or have given?
That you have given somebody.
Oh wow. Okay, so I was in film school a couple years ago, and I wrapped up this project, and then I gifted one of the props to someone, but they didn't know it was one of the props. It was a foam heart. So yeah, a foam bloody heart. That is the weirdest gift I've given someone. There's a weird long story behind that. I will tell that to you in person one day.
Perfect. Actually, to be honest, that is the most wholesome answer that we've gotten so far. The last two people that we have talked to, one of them was a fleshlight, and the second one, which was April Hunter, by the way, and the second one, I believe, was edible underwear, or right? I don't remember.
Something to that effect, I believe.
Yeah. So that's just going to be on the questions from now on. Whoever we interview, what is the weirdest one? And now we have a bloody heart. So we've almost come full circle, I guess.
A bloody foam heart. I want to be very clear. This is not incriminating. It was a fake heart. It was a prop on a set. It was not real.
We're going to edit that part out. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Sarah, go ahead.
So I see, looks like you have some Funko Pops in the background there.
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite Funko Pop?
Oh, probably my oh gosh, I'm gonna get some heat if there's any Seahawks fans. My Tom Brady Funko Pop. Tom Brady all day.
Nice. All right. So we got a game here. It's called the Electric Chair. 6 rapid fire questions. Some wrestling related, some not wrestling related. Just whatever answer comes to mind first. What is the best flavor energy drink?
Ghost Blue Raspberry.
Okay. What is your weapon of choice in a match?
The hashtag homie. 7, you know what I'm talking about. It's the hashtag.
I don't think you.
I don't.
Read there.
Yeah, I've sent you a picture of it.
Okay.
It's literally that white hashtag with thumbnails literally glued all over it.
Okay, yeah, I remember now. Where would be like a bucket list wrestling city? Where do you want? What's the ultimate goal?
Madison Square Garden. Hands down. Madison Square Garden, hands down.
Great answer. So I noticed you got a Robin tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite Batman villain?
Oh man. God, I don't want to say the Joker. Oh my gosh. You know what? Specific villain, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze.
Okay. Good answer.
Rashad, are you a comic book fan?
I am a huge comic book fan.
I did not know this about me. I used to work for Comic Watch. We'll have to talk sometime.
Oh, I was just literally having a conversation about the differences between the MCU and the actual Marvel comics. It was very infuriating.
As most of it is meant to be. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Did you enjoy the halftime show at the Super Bowl this year?
Funny story. I missed the halftime show. I decided to go to the gym because it was empty.
Smart. So it's usually one of the best times to go grocery shopping too. I haven't, but usually it's pretty empty from what I hear. Last question. Would you rather be front row for AEW Revolution this year for Sting's last match or for WrestleMania?
Ooh.
Revolution, Sting's last match. You can go to as many WrestleManias as you want to. It's only one last match.
Yeah.
Unless you're Ric Flair. That is all that I got.
All right. So the next part is the last part, and it's trivia. So I do request that you guys wait until I finish the question before you raise your hand to see who goes first. I say that just because I have to read it and see who gets up first. These are just random questions that I pulled, and it's whoever gets to 5 ends up winning. The winner gets absolutely nothing. It's just for fun. All right, Sarah, are you ready? Rashad, are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. What is the largest desert in the world? Sarah?
The Sahara Desert.
Incorrect. Rashad?
The Gobi Desert?
Incorrect. It's actually Antarctica.
That's not.
That was a. Yeah, it's apparently a desert. I never knew that. Yeah, random. Okay. What is the currency of the United States? Sarah? Or wait. Yeah, go ahead.
It is the dollar.
I'll give that to you. It's considered the United States dollar. Some of these are a little tricky and a little bit obvious. All right. What colors mix to make the color green? Rashad?
Yellow and blue. Am I
Yes,
wrong?
correct.
Oh, God.
No, you're right. No, because it's written in the different order. So I was like, wait, what? And then, yes, I was just making sure. All right. We are off into a battle, one-on-one. What animal is the tallest in the world? Rashad?
I'm going to say the giraffe.
You are correct.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm so competitive.
I was like, is it a trick? Could it be the whale? Because, you don't really know how tall they are.
I was also going to say the blue whale. That's funny.
That actually was almost a question for like, what is the biggest sea mammal? So I'm kind of glad I didn't ask that one. Okay, and the next one is okay. Oh, what is the largest ocean? Sarah?
Pacific Ocean?
Correct. We are 2 for 2. I did not think it. Okay. Is the number 18 a prime number? Go ahead.
No.
Correct. How many continents are there? Rashad?
I'm going to say 7.
Correct.
That was an inside joke because your name's 7. I get it.
I only wish I was that smart. Okay. How long is the Olympic swimming pool in meters? I didn't know this one either, so feel free to throw out. Oh, go ahead, Sarah.
Is it 90?
Incorrect. Rashad?
Is it 25?
Half of it. It is actually 50 meters.
If anything, I just learned a new fact today. 50 meters for an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah, I always thought, actually, I was with Sarah. I always thought it was 90. Whatever. All right. Which four colors make up the flag of Brazil? Sarah?
Green, yellow, blue, and white.
You are correct.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't sure on white. I'm like, seems logical. We're going to guess.
I actually didn't know that either. I would have guessed like red or something in the green and the blue. All right. And how many planets, wait, let me see. How many current planets are in our solar system? Rashad?
I'm going to say 8.
You are correct.
But Eli told me that there are 9, so I will stick to that as well, too.
Yeah, 8 or 9. Sometimes Pluto's a planet, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's retrograding. Who knows? All right, that is the end. Rashad, you are the winner.
Oh. Thank you, Sarah. You are worthy competition.
You win nothing.
I don't need the win. I need the dubs. Oh, the dubs. I don't get a lot of W's in wrestling, so thank you for that, Sarah. Thank you.
All right, Rashad, is there anything you would like to say in closing?
Sarah, 7, thank you for having me on. I had so much fun. I will definitely be back. Hopefully, I might bring Mickey one of these days. Put him here somewhere.
Yeah, we could definitely do the Golden Guys. If you've ever, Sarah, if you can ever get a hold of any type of footage from Reactivate Pro Wrestling, check out anything that those two have done. It's hilarious, and you're going to be entertained 100%. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us here at Bucklebomb Entertainment. Sarah, you got any closing out?
Don't forget to follow us on our socials and check out our podcast live mostly Thursday nights, either at 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll always keep you informed on that.
All right. Thank you all. Bye.